Today we will tell you about the biggest explosions in the history of the universe. We will start the list of impressive explosions with those that were directly related to our planet. There are many reasons for such explosions. Creation of hydrogen and atomic bombs, the fall of the Tunguska meteorite in Siberia and the meteorite, due to which, presumably 65 million years ago, the extinction of dinosaurs began. The explosion created on Earth by this meteorite is equivalent to 96 teratons of dynamite, which makes it the most powerful in the history of our planet, at least the most powerful among those that we know. But some scientists believe that a million years before Chicxulub, a much more powerful explosion occurred on Earth. We can see evidence of this mega explosion in the sky every night. This is the Moon. According to the giant impact theory, the Moon could have formed as a result of the collision of the Earth with the planet Theia. The collision could have happened about 4.4 billion years ago. Theia is one of many hypothetical planets roughly the size of Mars. Scientists admit that during the formation of our solar system, many similar planets could revolve around the Sun. 100 million years after the completion of the formation of our Sun, the Earth and Theia collided, due to which a rather large piece separated from the Earth and almost completely bogged down inside our planet. Scientists suggest that it collided with the Earth at an angle of 45 degrees or more and thus, as it were, cut off a piece of our planet. Fragments of the planet formed a ring around the young Earth. Subsequently, the shard ring formed into the Moon known to us and the second Moon, a smaller satellite. Scientists believe that a smaller satellite later collided with the Moon, after which they merge. Of course, this is just a theory, but the very idea of a giant collision is supported by a lot of scientific evidence. For example, the theory of the existence of Theia confirms the analysis of lunar rocks delivered by American astronauts to Earth. The analysis showed that they contain traces of minerals from which a certain hypothetical celestial body was composed. Gamma bursts, GRB, are believed to be produced by giant stars shortly before they go supernova. Supernova explosions propagate matter at a speed of over 30,000 kilometers per second. This is about 10% of the speed of light. Experts believe that gamma-ray bursts may also provoke some stars that have already become supernovae. Typically, a gamma-ray burst occurs very far from us and very rarely. In one galaxy, such a flash occurs once every 100,000 years. So all the gamma-ray bursts that we have been able to detect until today have occurred outside of our Milky Way. The most impressive gamma-ray burst was recorded on March 19, 2002. It originated 7.5 billion light-years from Earth, but was so powerful that its light reached our planet in 2000 and was visible to the naked eye for 30 seconds. The massive explosives required for an explosion of this magnitude would be 10,000 times the mass of the Sun. And this is not the only surge of such magnitude. On September 16, 2009, scientists recorded a gamma-ray burst with the highest energy released. Its code name is Orbi 08096. The energy exceeded the total power of explosions of 9,000 medium supernovae. According to scientists, this surge occurred 12.7 billion years ago. With such an explosion, released 7,000 times more energy than the Sun has released during its entire existence. Supermassive black hole. The first powerful explosion ever observed by man occurred in 2015. In this explosion, even more energy was released than from gamma-ray bursts known to us. And how much more do you think? Maybe twice? Or 10? Or even 100 times the explosion that occurred 2.6 billion light-years from us release hundreds of millions of times more energy than gamma-ray bursts. The active nucleus of a galaxy 300 million light-years from the Earth, in the center of which it is located, became the source of a powerful burst of energy. Supermassive black hole. The explosion took place in the Serpent Galaxy cluster, but it was so powerful that it hollowed out a cavity in the cluster's plasma, a huge array of very hot gas that surrounds the black hole. There is a supermassive black hole at the center of the active galactic nucleus. It attracts matter, which is actively heated to enormous temperatures. A jet of plasma is ejected from there, and powerful explosions also occur. Scientists were confident that this was not the last explosion in this square of space, as the black hole continued to expand. Researchers do not hide the fact that strange things are happening in the constellation Serpens, which unites 1,000 galaxies mixed with plasma and dark matter. X-ray telescopes have found strange, curved edges around this constellation. Then it was suggested that this is the wall of the hole, knocked out in the plasma by the release of energy from one of the giant black holes located in one of the key galaxies of the constellation. Astrophysicists explain that black holes are known for their appetite to devour any matter, be it gas or even a star that gets too close to them. They also have the ability to eject huge amounts of matter and energy in the form of streams of radio waves that develop everything in their path. Experts believe that in the coming years we will be able to observe another similar phenomenon. If two supermassive black holes or two neutron stars begin their merger, the power of the explosion will far exceed what was recorded in 2015. At first, scientists doubted that the source of this explosion was the active nucleus of the galaxy, since the hole was too large. The size of this area corresponded to the volume of 15 galaxies such as the Milky Way. This meant that the release of energy had to be a monstrous force. In February 2020, astronomers at the International Centre for Astronomical Research in Australia received data confirming that the constellation Ophiuchus experienced the most powerful burst of energy since the Big Bang. So, for 240 million years without a break, the Big Bang, but the most powerful explosion in the history of the universe, of course, was the Big Bang that gave birth to the universe itself. During the Big Bang, an incredible amount of energy was released. It is simply impossible to imagine such a figure. It is true that at its core, the Big Bang was not an explosion at all. The phenomenon that gave rise to the entire universe known to us. It would be more fair to call the Big Bang an expansion. This is a hypothetical moment. Start. More precisely, the Cosmological Model that describes the origin of the universe as we see it today. In the beginning there was a word, and this word, or rather two words, a singularity, an infinitely small state and an infinitely dense point into which the entire universe was compressed. Physics constants, matter, space and time. Then or during this, the Big Bang happened, all of the above was born, and physicists, after almost 14 billion years, were able to understand and describe this birth phenomenon. Given that the laws of physics that we now know could not exist at that time, it is very difficult to understand how the processes in this early universe were regulated. In addition, experiments using those possible types of energy that could be present at that time have not yet been carried out. After the expansion phase itself, according to the theories of scientists, the universe went through a cooling phase, which allowed the appearance of subatomic particles and later a simple atom. Subsequently, giant clouds of these ancient elements, due to gravity, began to form the stars of the planet and galaxy. The exact measurement of this phenomenon is almost impossible to calculate. But we can say for sure that it will take all the positive energy of the universe to repeat the Big Bang. At the moment, the largest accelerator on our planet is a Large Hadron Collider, and he is only able to drive 7 electron volts into one small space. In the near future, this number may probably increase to several hundred. But this is a recreation of the Big Bang. Even if in miniature, we are still far away. But that's for the best. Given that the original Big Bang broke the very fabric of time, it is worth noting that the Big Bang theory is only one of the many proposed hypotheses for the origin of the universe. For example, there is another theory of the stationary universe, but it is the Big Bang theory that has received the widest recognition and popularity. It not only explains the source of all known matter, laws, physics, and the grand structure of the universe, but also describes the reasons for the expansion of the universe, as well as many other aspects and phenomena. But even if we consider it fair, it is this theory that leaves many questions that modern physics is still not able to answer. If the universe began its history from a small point with infinite density, which suddenly began to expand, does this mean that it will also expand indefinitely? Or will one day she run out of expressive power and begin the reverse process of contraction? So far, scientists have no answer to these questions. However, every day we are getting closer to understanding how the universe works. And perhaps one day we will be able to find the answers to these mysteries. Well, write in the comments how, in your opinion, the universe was born. And also if you were interested, then put likes. Subscribe to the channel.